Peace and blessings, everyone. Sapo Hakisha Kwame here. The name of this piece is Was Dr. Amos Wilson Honored at the 50th Anniversary of the Million Youth March? Well, I do know and understand that this was a tribute and commemoration of the work and legacy of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. May he rest in Uhuru. And, you know, I want to be appreciative to that. And I do realize that people have their particular favorites in terms of scholars and who they particularly work. And I do recognize that if I was to raise and create a Dr. Amos Wilson event, as the Association of Black Psychologists did at the conference, that there just would be limitations to that participation, as well as what we did on the Malcolm X Day weekend, maybe 2 years ago, where Dr. Issa Ramu, Brother Mark Bowden, did a presentation on the legacy of Dr. Amos Wilson. So I come from, you know, a background or a network of hearing the work and of true scholars. And I do realize that sometimes I wonder what may be the differences, you know, for whatever reason, why Cyrus Suit and Shetty, Brother Polite, and, you know, Malik Shabazz. Well, I mean, not that, you know, you have to mention our scholar's name or every particular scholar name, but I wonder why this one was ignored. And let me just say what I'm going to have to do differently. Some strategic operations that perhaps I knew that Dr. Amos Wilson did not do, that I'm going to have to ensure that I accomplish. For one, I know that I'm going to have to preserve my life longer. I don't want to speculate on why Dr. Amos Wilson transitioned. I did not meet him personally, though you know, I do recognize that you know, he left us at too early of an age. And so what I am currently doing is, at this particular time, I am working hand in hand, just a phone call away, with some powerful national builders that are organizing for empowerment. And many of them know of the work, and they manifest the work of Dr. Amos Wilson in several different ways. And so, in terms of, you know, the Million Youth March and why, or if Dr. Amos Wilson's name was mentioned, and for instance, why individuals probably would not show up if I was to do a Dr. Amos Wilson tribute, as we have done, is due to the emotional rages, or shall I say, the hostility that the minimal thought processes. And I know, for instance, many may not be connected to him because he wrote such a big book. Let me just make it plain. I know some people who have not read his book because it's so big, and I've read it 3 times, and so I know that in the minds of the masses and in so-called educated Negroes who may know some things, or, you know, they probably didn't read it, and so they're not internalizing our great, one of, if not the greatest elder and warrior scholar of the 21st century. Has to be up there in the 1, 2, or 3. Let me just make it plain for you all who think I'm an Amos Wilson extremist or whatever. But the reality, just like many people say, Elijah Muhammad, still quoting Elijah Muhammad. I mean, and he had certain key analysis. But, you know, this is a new day, and we brought it up to the 21st century. And I do appreciate Polite saying that we do live in a new day, that we need different strategies. You know, there are different issues that are out here to deal with when we're talking about developing community. this pedophilia related issue, homosexuality. We have drug addiction, the number of teenage pregnancies. All these are different dynamics than what was happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Different demographics, different global political, racial shifts. We have immigration related issues. So there are different times, and different leaders must develop strategies for these times. And unfortunately, many people just want to continue to hold on to leaders and just not be able to listen to other thinkers at this particular time. But I say that there will be more that will continue to listen, because the work is going to be done, and the wise are going to rise. They're going to see the work that I'm laying out, not just talking on YouTube, but a solid analysis, a definitively connected, solid business empowerment analysis for the 21st century. And so I believe that Dr. Amos Wilson, perhaps, he absolutely was marginalized by the Dr. Yorks, by the NOI in New York, and by some of the deep historians who people wanted to feel good about stuff, but not read. People wanted to travel to Kemet and feel good, instead of building schools, instead of creating rites of passage programs, instead of building institutions and industries. What he talked about in Garveyism versus the New World Order. And so I understand why people want to feel good. Not wish to minimize many of the great deeds and the uplifting work, but it's a new day. I'm upholding the work of Dr. Amos Wilson, and I'm going to manifest that work in the 21st century. Critical work is being done. Ask me, how can you be a supporter? You can buy my products that I'm connected to, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more that can be done, but I have the best path to empowerment. And so I will say, keep watching, keep listening, keep building. Peace.